Good morning, it's Friday. We're back on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange with Jim Cramer. Hey, Jim.
Perfect attendance. 40 years without a day off from sick. And I woke up yesterday and I went, because I like to do this, how would this sound? I could not get "Hey, I'm Cramer" out. And that meant that finally I was completely defeated. I've never taken a day off from sick, but if you cannot talk in the business I'm in, you just don't have it. And the voice didn't come back until about 3:30 a.m. So I didn't show.
We missed you, Jim.
Yeah, I missed you guys. Well, it sounds like I don't like to take it there. I had a 104-degree temperature in 11th grade. I have no temperature now. 104-degree temperature. And I was running. I was a pretty good runner, trying to get in the Penn relays. 49 quarter miler. That's when they used to do a quarter mile. And I went into my coach, Coach Bauer, and I said, "Coach, I don't think I should work out as hard as I would normally today." We were doing 10 440s walk across because I have a 104-degree temperature. And he pinned a note to me. It says, "Jim thinks he shouldn't run hard because his mommy said he shouldn't run hard." And he said, "Why don't you wear this for the whole practice?" He pinned it on me. I never forgot it. I never took another day off ever from being sick.
Jim, can I go out?
My mommy.
Can I go out on a limb and say maybe your voice took a hit from the Eagles game over the weekend?
Well, okay, here's what happened. In truth, my vocal cords were just killing me Monday. On Tuesday, I tried hot tea. I was getting there. And then Wednesday, they just gave out entirely. So get used to this because I'm going to the Super Bowl. And I am doing my best to get these vocal cords back.
All right, well, a lot of screaming at the Super Bowl because they're going to win.
Now, a few years ago, when I had a radio show, I used to get this all the time. And it was like this every day. So I went to an ear, nose, and throat, Dr. Markowitz. And I said, "What's the matter with me?" A week later, she called me. She goes, "Come see me." I go. And she goes, "The average person speaks 10,000 words a day. I have now counted your words just on your shows. You're at 15,000. No human can do that. So you got to give up one of those shows." So not unlike what my mommy did, I said, "Look, there's nothing I can do. I'm under contract with CBS for the radio show." And she said, "I'll write you a note which says that you can't do both." And she did, and I did. So I guess twice I got called in over it. But you can't do 15,000. I'm back to doing about 11,000. That's about as much as you can do.
All right, Jim. Well, we have many words to talk about today, including Davos, President Trump. They are saying America first.
President Babbitt. That's a great book by Sinclair Lewis. It's about, we're open for business. Come do it. I mean, it was a little bit like, I was struck by how much he was making a sales pitch to all these other nations about coming to us. Now, I think it's ironic that under Obama, under almost everybody, what you have to do, you're supposed to say, "All right, we're rich, you're not, here's money." That had been kind of the redistribution nature of Davos. He's come in and said, "Look, if you stop trading unfairly, everybody gets rich." Now, that's not true. If you stop trading unfairly, then your country's going to do poorly. South Korea, Japan, China. But you know what? It kind of came off as like, knock it off already. Everybody benefits. And I think that if those countries, South Korea, listen to them, I don't know. I think what he's really saying is, this is about to happen. If you don't build here, it ain't happening for you. So in that sense, yes, it would be good for them. But it was kind of a Teddy Roosevelt speech. I haven't heard a president since Teddy Roosevelt give that kind of speech.
Huh. Well,
and not that I heard Teddy. I've read those. I'm not that old.
Good point. What did you make of Mnuchin's dollar comments? Trump told CNBC that he wants to see a stronger dollar.
Well, I mean, Mnuchin, what he did was tell the truth. And the truth is an abstraction. We've always wanted a weaker dollar. But when you say that, it is considered to be retaliatory against countries that have trashed us. And Mnuchin was retaliatory against countries that have really held us hostage. So, is it Is it breakthrough that he said something that's true? Yeah. Did the president walk it back? Yeah. But you know what? It was said. And if you listen to the 500 S&P conference calls that I do, you would know that there isn't anyone that doesn't want a weaker dollar. It was a kind of an admission of what's really going on in the world. So then the president takes it back. I don't know, but you got it out there. And again, this is very much of this president. The president is saying, if you move here, you'll do better. If you don't, you'll do worse. That's his theme.
All right, Jim, let's move on to individual stocks. You had an interview with Starbucks CEO Kevin Johnson. You'd like him to spin off China.
Well, I mean, look, I'm just talking about the same, they have about the same number of stores that Yum China had before they spun it off. It was, the ratio was 28,000, I'm going to give round numbers, 28,000 of which 7,000 are in China for, Asia Pacific for Starbucks. And it was like 48,000 and then 7,000 in China. The issue I have is this. Starbucks throws off a huge amount of cash. Now that cash is being deployed in China so they can continue to grow China. That makes sense. But I think that China is such a cash cow too that they could just take China and continue to invest in China. And if you separated the two, you would get, I think, an immediate boost. Now you could say, well, that's more of a reason why you shouldn't separate. It's just that China's undervalued within Starbucks. So you should start valuing China the way you would with Yum China and just tack it on. But it does take a split to really bring out that value.
Starbucks also took a hit with the merchandise in its stores. How do
they had the wrong product. Up front didn't do well. I wonder whether that isn't Amazon. There is a prevailing view that the mall traffic is bad. Now, if you go back to previous quarters when Howard was on, he said there weren't enough mall stores to help to even lower the comp number. Well, this didn't feel like that this time. It felt like that the mall could actually hurt them. Before, we thought it was the throughput that was slowing things down. Now we discovered it's the merchandise. I mean, it seems like every quarter there's a little something, but I would point out that China's amazing. So, you kind of have this one bit of business that's not that good, then another that's incredible. Now, the one that's not that good can get great again, and that's what you're thinking about if you own the stock. You have to bet that not this quarter, but next quarter will have a series of things that make it so that they can accelerate. And that's a little bit of a of hope, but especially if traffic's down all over the place. I think traffic's down all over the place, and that's really the problem. Not just for, in other words, not for Starbucks, for everybody. I just think that this is a stay-at-home economy, and if you're at Starbucks, you're kind of like not part of that, and that matters.
It does matter. Also, Jim, Intel driving the Dow this morning, data center revenue up 20%.
I think a lot of people felt that Brian would talk about how this this problem with basically malware would hurt the company. It didn't at all. You had a 2% decline in PCs instead of a much higher. You had 20% data center. You had huge auto because of the Mobileye build. It was a rather remarkable quarter, but it was remarkable because the negatives on Intel are so vocal. This was such a good quarter. Brian's doing a great job. Yes, now he is against Nvidia with auto, and he's against Lisa Su from AMD in PC, and he doesn't have the great graphic user interface. He doesn't have that. But what I would say is that Brian is doing remarkable work, and the stock's very cheap.
Another Dow component reporting, 3M, 6% organic growth, revenue growth.
That was the best industrial. Inga Tallinn delivered again. I don't think people realize that the last 5 years have produced 30% of the growth. That's in innovation. I get a package from Inga Tallinn every year of just the kind of household. What does it have? Probably got like $68 worth of sponges, but they have, they keep coming up with new things to make your room and your house cleaner, new things to make better Band-Aids, new things to make better traffic signs. What they are is an innovation factory that you can own a piece of, and boys, it's been great.
And you're right about 3M in Real Money this morning with a story about your dad.
Yeah, I mean, my dad was always looking for new product, sold boxes and bags to retailers, and he had the 3M franchise. And one day 3M came up with sashing ribbon, and it was a huge pickup for my dad's business because he had something else to sell. And I think that that's really the lesson with 3M. They keep giving you more things to sell, and it's been a huge win.
Jim, who do you have?
My dad loved working for 3M.
It's a great story on realmoney.com.
He also sold these great board games, and I've been after Inga to bring them back, and maybe he will.
Jim, who do you have coming up on Mad Money tonight?
One of the best stories this week was from Lamb Research. Martin Anstis. He blew the numbers away. By the way, just like ASM. But I think what matters is that he's saying, those of you who think that this whole run in DRAMs and NAND is over, don't understand that the machines they're making pretty much assure a secular growth pattern for those two. That's very different from what people think. So let's drill down on that. I like Martin very much. He has a good story to tell.
All right, we'll be watching tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern on Mad Money. Jim and I have many more stocks to talk about. Please join us on actionalertsplus.com.